way. Season's here. It's great. I guess I'll give you guys a rundown. It's been, I can say this with all sincerity, it's been the most enjoyable preseason that I've ever experienced in my coaching career. We have had a phenomenal 2.5 weeks with the team. The young women are bought in 100%, and not that I ever doubt that previous classes have been that way, but there's a special vibe around the team right now. And I think that's permeating throughout the volleyball community in Bozeman and beyond. When you look at the numbers we had in attendance for a scrimmage on Saturday last week, I want to say we had a few hundred people, and then versus Carroll, I don't even know how many people we had, but it was a lot more than I was anticipating. And so I just think there's a real excitement building around the program, and the team feels it. We've got 3 really dedicated seniors who have set the stage for everybody else to kind of follow along right now. So it's a pretty cool environment to be working in. I can sincerely say I feel like I have the best job in the country.
The scrimmage against Carroll went to 5 sets. Did you expect it to go the distance there?
Yeah, you never know. Mo and I had talked about it prior to the match, and we had agreed we're going to play 4 sets regardless of what the first 3 sets happened. And we felt going into it was a great opportunity for us to test a bunch of our athletes and see how they responded under a little bit of pressure. And so we mixed the lineups up pretty heavily. And when you do that, you've always got uncertainty. Putting freshmen out there with big roles and some of the returners even that haven't played a lot previously, putting them out there and expecting a lot of them. So I sat on the bench, and I had my arm on the chair next to me, and I had a few people comment to me afterwards how relaxed I looked throughout the match, considering it went 5. And I sincerely felt relaxed the whole time. I felt like if I wanted to, we could make a couple of adjustments and take care of business. But to me, it was more important to go out and see what everyone's capable of in the program, so that when we hit the road this week, we know what we're dealing with. So I think Carroll's an outstanding program. I think Mo does a fabulous job up there, and I'm excited to see what they can do this season, because they pushed really hard and they took control of the energy of the court in sets 3 and 4. And as we all know, volleyball is a big momentum game, and they took it, and it was a good challenge for us to step up in the 5th set, so it was good.
Was the purpose of going, you said the 4 sets regardless, was to pretty much just play everybody?
Yeah.
And get those questions. Talk about just kind of the new faces, the team thus far. I know we talked a little bit of practice the other day, but just kind of talk about how their performance was in the scrimmage, and then how you predict that they'll do this season.
Yeah, I think we've got 3 outstanding freshmen, and I'm going to mention Casey Odell as a redshirt freshman as well. Not many people know Casey's story, but she's had a pretty tough go of it in the last 12 months with some health issues and different things going on. And just to see her be able to step on the court the way she has, she's really amazed us. I'll probably have to ask her if I'm allowed to go into details about her health stuff, but pretty major surgery for her over Christmas break, and to see her walk off the plane and step onto the court the way she has over the last few weeks, pretty darn impressive. So excited about what she's going to become. She knows she's a little ways off, but she's making huge strides pretty quickly. And then you got our 3 true freshmen. You've got Jordan Klein from Ennis, Montana, who we're all really excited about. I truly believe she has the potential to be one of the greatest Bobcats of all time. And potential, and that's a big label to put on her, and it's potential is a big word, but she's 6'3". She jumps out of the gym, and she's athletic, and she has a cool head on her. I mean, that's what we get when we get the right kids. Particularly, I feel like small town Montana kids who have done multiple sports, and we love those kids. I want to put that message out there that for all the parents and the athletes in the state of Montana and beyond. Let your athletes play more than one sport. It's really good for them. And what we see is in Jordan is a product of a 3-sport athlete with basketball, volleyball, and track. Multiple time state champion. And a state champion in volleyball as well. And she, the speed of the game's a little fast for her right now. But she's adapting amazingly well. She's even come into my office and said, "Coach, this is way easier than I thought it would be," in terms of what she'd built it up to be in her head. And so we're really excited about her potential and her development already. And so we'll see a bit of her. And then you've got Emma Pence out of Carson City, Nevada, our fiery redhead middle, who will stand out from the crowd. She reminds me of Kiana Black, who we had in the program a couple of years ago, who was a pretty dominant force as a middle blocker, being able to run off one foot and the slide behind. And Emma has a similar ability to be a really lethal attacker behind off one foot like that. And so we're excited to see what she can do, and she'll be in the mix. And then you got Kira Thompson from Parker, Colorado, just outside of Denver, and she's just a power. What's the right term for her? I guess a powerful, pocket-sized athlete. She's 5'8" at a stretch maybe, but just gets after it in a huge amount of passion and enthusiasm. And I think that's all 3 or 4 of them have brought just a little bit of passion and enthusiasm that has taken the gym to another level, which has been super exciting to be a part of.
Now the the team seemed pretty confident. Although it was just a scrimmage, they seemed pretty confident both on the court and on the bench. You think that kind of stems from the 3 seniors' leadership too?
Oh, without a doubt. And I think we talk a lot about confidence being a byproduct of the work that you do. I don't think it's, I liken it to walking into an exam. If you don't do the work to get ready for an exam, how can you be confident walking in? It's the same with volleyball. If you don't do the work through the summer in the weight room and in them running their own practices through the summer, how can they walk into preseason practice with a sense of confidence? And I can tell you this led by Rizzo and Evie and Sid, the senior class have really done a phenomenal job in preparing this team to have a sense of confidence, because they've worked really hard this summer. With a sense of organization and purpose as well. It hasn't just been, hey, let's get in the gym and play a little bit of volleyball. From what I understand, they planned their own practices and they got in there and really got after it. So, they do have a sense of confidence, but I think it's built from the right place where they've done the work, they know they've done the work, and they're ready to go out and see how it stacks up against other teams around the country.
Talk a little bit about the upcoming tournament. It's a pretty big tournament. You're going to see, I think, Northwestern State out of Louisiana, and then Arkansas, and then I'm not.
And Arkansas Little Rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of the things, just maybe watching a little bit of film, just to seeing what you're up against.
Yeah, this time of year, film is always a gamble because you never know. You've got to look at roster turnover. You've got to look at new kids coming in. You've got to look at transfers. You've got to look at, is it a new coaching staff, all those things. So this first weekend, we all go in a little bit blind, because you haven't seen what they're doing this year yet. But I think in Arkansas, you've got an SEC team who've got all the resources in the world. I know Jason, their coach, very well, Jason Watson. He was a former assistant coach actually here at Montana State. And so Jason and I go a long way back. He's an Australian. I'm a New Zealander. We're going to go at it. It's going to be a lot of fun to go out and play Jason and his squad. So that'll be fun. And then, Arkansas Little Rock and Northwestern State, they both do great things in their own right. 20 plus win teams, and we're going to have our work cut out for us. There's no doubt about it. But if we want to be a 20 plus win team, we have to beat 20 plus win teams. And so this is going to be a great test for us, straight out of the gate. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how it goes. Do
you have a starting lineup for the tournament this weekend, or will that be kind of determined toward the end of the week?
We're working on it. We're definitely working on it. We'll have a short practice today, a bigger practice tomorrow, and we're communicating with the team about roles and things like that. So it's a lot of fun this time of year because there's so many unknowns still.
Okay, last question, I promise. First day of school today. How excited were the girls to start school?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I think you've got some terrified freshmen. They don't quite know what's happening, and we've designed our Monday practices to be deliberately accommodating. So we're just going to go short today. We're going to go 4 to 5 p.m. And give them an opportunity to get their feet underneath them academically. We talked about it in terms of, hey, you prepare for these moments as much as you can in life, but there's a lot of things you can't prepare for. And one of them is recognizing what you've just walked into in terms of academic rigors of Montana State. Because not only is this an outstanding athletic institution, it's an even more outstanding academic institution. And so they're going to have their work cut out for them in the classroom, and it's going to be fun. We've received a few pictures this morning via text of first day, going to class kind of deal, and there's a lot of excitement, buzz around the program for sure.
You mentioned your off season. What exactly did that look like, and how maybe does it compare to other off seasons?
Yeah, so for me personally, off season, I'll talk about the summer first. It was a busy summer, lots of recruiting, which is always the lifeblood of any program. It's really exciting to get out and see the talent around the state, and also around around the country. Our summer camps were phenomenal. We sold out every one of our summer camps to the point where we're having to unfortunately turn people away. So we're going to publish our summer camp dates here in the next week or two in the hope that people are able to register early for those who missed out this past year. But again, when I said earlier that I feel a sense of growth and support and a swell of support in the community, I think it was very well expressed through our summer camp program, where there was just so many people in attendance and so many people passionate to get better and learn more about volleyball. And then, throughout that time, we're not allowed to have any contact with the team other than, if they initiate it. And so throughout that time, my understanding is the captains were running practices. And they were going early in the morning. I was allowed to organize the gym times for them. I know they went at 6 a.m. So it's a huge commitment from these student athletes to be in the gym all summer, every day at 6 a.m. to try and get better at volleyball, try and get stronger, try and prepare themselves for this season. And as far as the enjoyment I felt over the last 2.5, 3 weeks, it's been because of that preparation. Like we've started at a point where we're diving straight into systematic and tactical awareness things, whereas previously at this time of year we've been trying to dial in technique. And for sure there's always technique adjustments, but a lot of it, because they've taken care of it themselves this summer, has been able to we jump over that and get straight into the stuff that we're all able to be more excited about. So it's been a really neat experience.
The entire non-conference schedule, what do you like about it? What do you hope to see from the team throughout that?
Yeah. Oh man, I got to be careful what I say here. What do I like about it? I'm excited to go out to Arkansas. I think it's always great for our team to get to experience, some of these big Power 5 programs. I'll never forget taking the team out to Nebraska, 3-4 years ago, and the experience and the impact that had on this senior class who were freshmen at the time. And so to take this class now out to Arkansas is going to be a pretty neat experience for them. And to see, just what's out there and how we can compete against that high level of program. And then it's funny because you go to some of these schools and they have the reputation of being a big school, and yet we come home here to Bozeman and we recognize how good we have it here. It's not one of those things where we come back going, we wish. No, we know that we have an amazing situation here in Bozeman. So Arkansas will be great. I think going to Loyola Chicago is going to be awesome. I'm super excited to take Rizzo home. We're expecting probably hundreds of Rizzos in the gym. And if you've never met her parents, you want to, because you'll hear them coming a mile away. So if the rest of the family is like anything like her parents, we're going to have a loud gym and our support. So it's going to be a ton of fun. And we really feel like that's a competitive, every tournament we're going to, we feel like we're going to compete really well. Loyola Chicago is going to be another situation like that. And then, looking ahead beyond that, we head out to Missoula and we actually play in their tournament. We're not going to play the Grizz that tournament because we do have them home and away in conference. But it's a really nice situation for us because not only do we get to stay close to home and give our student athletes more time in the classroom, because the reality is these first 2 weeks we leave on Wednesday, so our student athletes are in the classroom Monday, Tuesday only for the first 2 weeks of class, which makes it really challenging. We'll leave Thursday evening, so they'll get Wednesday and Thursday in class, and then play Friday, Saturday over there. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to be in their gym, prepare to play them in just a couple of weeks later. So we're excited about that. We also set it up with Arkansas that they're going to do a home and away with us. They're going to come out here next year, so we'll be hosting a tournament with Arkansas next year, which will be awesome. And then we've done the same with the Grizz because the way I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it publicly yet, but I'm going to. The way the Big Sky Conference has done the scheduling in 2020 and 2021, we're only scheduled to play the Grizz once. And so to maintain that home and away rivalry match, they're going to return to us in 2020 also in a non-conference slate. So just it's setting up really nicely. And then we get to finish off with Seattle at home, and that's another one. We went out to Seattle last year, and they're coming back to us. And I think playing on the Tuesday against Seattle, Tuesday the 17th at 6 p.m. Is going to be our home opener, and playing that Tuesday night then gives us that weekend to prepare for the Grizz the following Tuesday. So we have a whole week to rest, recover, practice, prepare, and we go into that Grizz match over at Missoula. I feel like maybe the best prepared I will have been to Missoula, and the best prepared state I will have been over there in. So I really like the flow that we have set up in terms of the level of competition. I like the flow that we have set up in terms of the travel schedule, and also how it prepares us to go into conference that first Tuesday against the Grizz.